Next up, it's Mike from DroTV debuting a new segment here on Hi Friends called Here's to the High Life. Here's to the High Life is a celebration of all of the things, events, friendships, relationships, anything, all of the stuff that we can trace back to our relationship or our use of cannabis. Mike has a channel on YouTube called DroTV where he puts on some great cannabis content. For instance, I was on a show that he does called My First Time, where guests go on and tell the story of their first time using cannabis. If you'd like to see that episode, I've linked it in the show notes. And while you're there, be sure to click on some other videos because Mike has some great guests with some great videos. In this Here's to the High Life debut, Mike shares a story about a time he was in the jungle with some Cool Whip and a guide. It's time for my friends.
We're here in July now, and we've done 109.
Yeah, you did. Are you 5 days a week?
5 days a week. Yep.
Did you start 5 days a week, or did you just eventually decide let's just do it 5 days a week? Because this is the first show I've ever launched and decided I'm not doing weekly. I'm going to purposefully put a week between episodes. And so 5 days a week, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
When we started, I was surprised at how many people were interested in coming on the show. Naturally, I had friends, my rapper and musician friends. So it was kind of easy to get the initial episodes, but people that didn't know us, they didn't trust us. Who are these people DMing us? Do you want to come on this show? But I was surprised at the feedback we got. So we were trying to do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but we were recording like 6 to 8 episodes a week. And I'm like, it's kind of not fair to interview somebody and then tell them your episode's going to come out in like 2 or 3 weeks, because I want them to be excited about being interviewed, coming on the show. And so we really streamlined the process of how to edit and produce these and put them out. And so I just made the decision to let's just do it 5 days a week. And we've been working hard getting them all out there.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same pressure. We had a conversation on your show about how I'm purposefully waiting with a lot of the content that I've recorded and telling people I don't know that this will air. If I can't find something to match it up with, I just don't know. But you're right. I mean, I do feel a lot of pressure to get that stuff out there, and that's why I'm choosing people who, like you're posting content every day, and I'm also talking to a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram. They're posting content every day. So no matter when I find the perfect time to put somebody's segment on the show, I know that I'm going to be able to plug their most recent content. So it's where I will come into trouble, and maybe it won't, at a certain point, if it's a certain caliber of guest, if they're having an album release or a release date, at a certain point, you don't need to find the perfect content to pair with that. That is the perfect content that pairs with anything. So the reason that I wanted to have you come on, we do a lot of different segments on the show. It's part of what makes Hi Friends fun. It's not just science information. Even though we present the science information in a fun way, we also want to remember that at all times, cannabis is fun, and we have cool memories from doing it and cool experiences. And so let's create some here. So we're doing a segment today called Here's to the High Life. And you guys have heard the segment, A Time I Took the High Road, which is just a story of any time you've been high. Here's to the High Life. I am asking people to tell us stories about anything that they've gotten to do or experience, not when they were high necessarily, but because of their relationship to cannabis. Whether they got to meet or make some good connections with people because of a shared interest in cannabis, or they got to go to a grow operation and learn a whole lot about their own home grow. Whatever it may be, Here's to the High Life showcases how cannabis can enrich your life, not just your body and mind, but enrich every aspect of your life. So, Mike from DroTV, do you have any memories that come to mind when you think, here's to the high life?
You had asked me this and I was blank. I couldn't think of anything. And now I have about 10 stories.
Isn't that the way it always is?
Yeah, it's stoner life. So we were talking about birds earlier. The teacher, a mentor of mine that got me into birds, when I was in junior high school, he was doing trips like field trips to Ecuador, the jungle of
Oh, cool.
in Ecuador. So I ended up going twice. The second time I went, one of the guides, because there was 40 of us that went, and so there were like 2 guides with a group of 10 people.
And are the guides local?
They're local.
Yeah.
So you've got the one guy with the machete chopping down the path we're walking.
And the other guy with weed.
And the other guy is like the knowledgeable guy that speaks English and he can tell us what this tree is, what this animal is. And so anyways, one of the nights I go to hang out with my guide. He goes, "You like Cool Whip?" And I'm like, "We're in the jungle." Like, sure, Cool Whip. Okay. So he says, go over to that cabinet and get the Cool Whip. And I open it up. There's a bunch of weed. And, so, I mean, I had maybe smoked once or twice. I can't even remember the timeline now, but so he has another guy come in and we start packing a bowl. And all I remember was I had a portable CD player.
What's the age disparity here?
They were probably in their late 20s, early 30s, and I was like 15, 16.
I love it.
So,
I mean, by the way, legally, I don't condone this behavior, but as a stoner, I love it.
So I just remember Pearl Jam Vitalogy. I had the album playing and we smoked. I got super stoned, naturally. I remember they were joking in English, joking in Spanish, and I just remember being completely lost because I couldn't follow. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm so stoned. Are they purposely doing this? And then I remember going and looking at Pearl Jam, and the CD had stopped playing, but I was still hearing the music. So I said, it's time to go. So I went back to my cabana, and we were in the party cabana. Usually you just had 2 beds and it was like a couples type thing, but you know, we were kids. So it was just like you and your friend slept in this cabana. We were in the big cabana because we stayed with my friend, his son, the teacher, his son. So we got the big cabana with like a living room and, you know, walk-in bathroom, all this stuff. And I just remember walking in and I said, everybody has to go. I can't take all these people here. And then I went and laid down in my bed, and all I can remember was holding my face because I felt like I'm lying down. I just felt like the skin was like falling off my face and I was holding it on. No idea what the weed was, no idea what we smoked. If it was, you know,
right.
I mean, this was 97, 98. So, you know, this was way back, but
you got some good swag.
That was one of those instances where, I don't remember having that feeling quite like that. But that was one of those stories that I'll never forget, just because we were in a butterfly house. So they had a room of like chrysalises.
Oh, sure.
And so it was like, this room is, you know, the fully bred ones. And then these are the ones that are going through transformation. And so we were just sitting there hanging out, and he said, go get the Cool Whip container. So,
well, there's always weed in the Cool Whip container, as they say. But Mike, can you tell people where can they find you? You know, this is all in the show notes for people who want to click. But if you're somebody who needs to write something down to really remember, get that pen and paper ready. Mike from DroTV is going to tell you, where can you find Mike from DroTV?
We're pretty much everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. I mean, we're on all podcasts now, but you know, we're mostly active on Instagram. Twitter is pretty good as far as not censoring people for cannabis stuff. But yeah, so we're active on Twitter as well, but mostly Instagram and YouTube. We do put the show out 5 days a week, and it's video as well as audio. Monday through Friday, we've got another show in development. It's more of a business related show where we're basically going to businesses and setting up a podcast there.
Cool.
So it's more like a location based podcast.
Right.
And that's going to be called the Cannabis Show. We've got a couple episodes recorded. I'd like to get several more before we start releasing them. And that'll probably be a weekly or bi-weekly show. That one's even more production than the ones we're doing.
I believe
now.
it. Yeah.
We've been trying to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, I believe it's production. You know, part of what I do with podcasting is I do kind of a mobile service for people of, hey, we want a podcast. So I do everything from I'll help you come up with what your show should be to if you just need somebody to hit record and walk away and give you the files, I can be that. So you're absolutely, especially going into other locations, it is so much more production. You're absolutely right. All right, Mike, any more plugs that you need from us here?
I think that's it, dude. Thanks for having me on and coming on DroTV. This Swapcast was really good.
Absolutely. No, this was a blast. I'm so glad that we made the connection, and thank you so much for coming on. I won't drag this out any longer than it needs to be. Just a quick outro. A big thanks to Dr. Cody Peterson and my guest, Mike from DroTV. Thank you both so much for sitting down, having a conversation with me, and being willing to share a little bit about your history with cannabis and your thoughts and your expertise. Honestly, Hi Friends wouldn't work without people like you. But also, Hi Friends just simply wouldn't work without listeners. So listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. You would be doing me a huge favor if you could leave a rating or a review wherever you're able to do that for the show. And you'd be doing me an even bigger favor if you could share this episode with somebody that you think would gain something from it. Tell people that you're listening to the show and that you're having a good time. It helps more than you will ever know. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Check out the show notes for links. We will see you next time here on Hi Friends. Toke on. Time to end Hi Friends. Hi Friends is a production of Mortarbox Media. Have you guys seen my vape pen? I swear, I put it down for what I just had it. Hey, Ash. Hey, Ashley, where's my vape pen? Time to end Hi Friends. Time to end Hi Friends. Time to end Hi Friends. Time